And today's story is number 32 from page 87. The lesson of the red camellia. One night, a man in the prime of life got up to go to the bathroom. On the way, he spat into the garden. To his horror, his sputum was bright red, a telltale sign of tuberculosis. His legs turned to jelly, and he sank to the floor. When the man didn't come back to bed, his wife grew concerned and went looking for him. She laid a hand on his forehead and found he had a raging fever. The household was soon in an uproar, and they sent for a doctor. Meanwhile, the man told his wife what had happened, and she went out to the garden to see for herself. She discovered that he'd spat onto the fallen petal of a scarlet camellia. When she told him this, his fever magically disappeared, and the next morning he set off for work as usual. If he hadn't found out the truth, he could have made himself truly sick. There is no need to live in fear of what may come. Change is only natural. The earth itself has day and night. The moon waxes and wanes in the sky. The ocean has its high tide and low. In our lives, too, we experience both fat and lean. When you are at a low point, just wait, for this too shall pass. When you are at rock bottom, you are undergoing a test. Think of it as Buddha's way of training you so that in time he can give you something better than you have ever known. A hothouse flower does not smell so sweet as one exposed to wind and cold. Rain and sunshine are equally good. Anyone who can't appreciate this is of little substance. It is essential to open the eyes of the soul. Yeah, this is one of my favorite stories in this book. Um, yeah, because I think before I found Buddhism, a lot of times I felt just like this gentleman in the story. I would make myself sick just by the kind of thoughts that I had, and especially related to disease like hypochondriac type of thing. And yeah, suddenly you feel something wrong with some part of your body, and then we begin to kind of imagine the worst case scenario, and we ourselves make ourselves sick. So I began to see that, our mind is so powerful. It's creating everything. It's responsible for the experiences we have. So in this case too, this man, he thought he had tuberculosis just because he had spat onto the red petal of a flower. It looked that way on the surface, but on a closer look, it was not the case. So if we can create some kind of space in our mind and heart not to react so quickly. So this is the key. What can we do not to react so quickly, not to jump up to conclusions? Yeah, to have some space. So obviously doing this recitation meditation practice every day together, that's one solution, because our mind and heart is getting cultivated by the light of the Buddha the more we practice this. So naturally, there will be a space created in our mind and heart not to get triggered so easily, and examine the data, collect all the facts before we make a snap judgment. And then the other point is that there is no need to live in fear of what may come, because change is only natural. No one can stop the power of impermanence, the inevitability of change. Everything is changing. And The other day I injured my finger a little bit, so it hurt so much. It was a little bit of cut, but still it hurt so much. And, but I could see how it's healing, thanks to my own body's natural healing system. It's healing little by little. Every morning it hurt a little bit less. And this is a very good change. So this is also the working of impermanence, because everything is subject to impermanence. In this case, when we have a wound, it works well for us because this too shall pass and the wound is healing. So we should be grateful for this change, but we cannot pick and choose only when it's convenient to us. So people who are able to see the inconsistency within their own mind, when change is good for us, we are happy about impermanence. When change is inconvenient to us, we don't like impermanence. So this inconsistency in our own mind is creating our suffering. And people who notice this, um, lack of consistency within themselves, they are very happy and fortunate, blessed people, because it's not easy to reach to that level. It takes a lot of spiritual growth. So I'm so happy that we are here and we pay attention to our spiritual growth so that we work on our own minds and correct our own inconsistencies instead of being upset with the inconsistency in other people or in the world. That's a lot of happiness. Yeah. So good job for being here, practicing together. Today is Thursday. We will have advanced group session, 6 p.m. Pacific time, for those who've completed the basic group, basic sessions. Have a beautiful Thursday, everyone. Goodbye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Gary.